We've been talking a lot about the brain, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it today. Brainwaves and neurofeedback, literally how to blow your mind into optimization. And I want to start off and kind of review some of the material that we talked about. Remember, when it comes to your brain, we talked about this. The brain uses 30% of your calories. There's 4 states that we primarily focus on. Remember, alpha, beta, okay, delta. Whoops, excuse me. Let's see. We'll do theta. Excuse me. Theta, delta, and then there's a 5th state, gamma. And there's all these little in-between states as well. This is your brain here. So here's, some little eyes, happy face, because you're doing the optimization program. Before we get into the brain waves, these are the brain waves here, and understanding this, you got to realize that none of this works without managing your neurochemistry. So a couple things that you need to understand is you need to go back to the basics. Hydration is critical. Nothing less, I think if you really want to optimize your brain, at this stage in the game, we're really going to, put the emphasis on this. You want at least a gallon a day. That's 4 or 5 liters per day, right? 4 to 5 liters of water per day. If you're in a hot climate, like we're filming here in Arizona, it's really dry. You probably want even more than that. Hydration is very key. The other thing is making sure that you get your minerals, vitamins, your essential amino acids, and your essential fatty acids inside your brain. And also, if you're a carb guy like I am, enough healthy carbohydrates. I'm going to put a healthy sign on there to make sure your brain functions. Because reality is, there's no sense of getting into advanced brain technology without this. And I can share with you from the top researchers that I know, guys, like, Dr. Hart or, Dr. Michael Colgan, or Dr. Patrick Fanikin, they all spend a lot of time on these very basics. This is the chemistry. This is the chemistry of your brain. You've got to lock down your chemistry if you want your brain really to oscillate or operate at the right frequency. Then, when you start to use, whether it's meditation, neurofeedback, there's flow training or focus training. By using these various technologies that we talked about, meditation is kind of need an N on that. No one's going to give me an A for penmanship, that's for sure. But getting into these states, these are the processes, but this is the chemistry that you have to leverage. Now, if you stack this up here and you put together the technique that kind of works for you, so keep in mind, some people do really well on meditation. Some people do better on neurofeedback. Some people do better on flow training, and some people just do by acute focus, whether it is, in front of their computer, or whether it's, playing a sport, or whether it's through a meditation practice or whatever. Find the process. So this is the process. Find the process that works for you. And in order to do that, you need to experiment. The biggest thing that can hold people back is that, what I call, skepticism. Skepticism, it's all right to have healthy skepticism, but for the most part, skepticism on something that you haven't experimented with is really, it doesn't serve you, because the reality is there's a lot more that we don't know than what we do know. And so the reality is you can't make mistakes. So if you do experiment, one of my mentors, Ty Lopez, says, there's no such thing as a mistake, or a mistake is just an experiment that you ran too long. So try a variety of these things. The other thing is look at some of the devices that we use in order to enhance it. And I think in today's world, there's some very effective digital tech. This, mark my words, is the future. Right here, digital technology or electrical technology that allows you to get into these states. Now, when you combine it with the BiOptimizer program here, and then you pick the process, then you get the results. So here's what you go. The formula works like this. Chemistry first. That's first, okay? Process is second, okay? Third is tech. This is basically the 3 rules to totally blow your mind open to the next level. And I want to share with you, we're all the way here to lesson 66. We've gone a long ways and you've learned a lot. When you talk about optimization, by this time you've incorporated this and you're feeling the experiences, but there's no way to get to this final level without combining all of these 3s. They stack on top of each other. So between that, of course, the 12 practices of highly healthy people that each week you should be incorporating one of the techniques that we've advocated in here, and you can go back through your notes and on the website, if you forgot, go back and review lessons. Start incorporating this on a week-to-week basis, and what you're going to find is these things are going to become a lot easier. Maybe you've tried some of these things in the past, but because your chemistry wasn't right, it didn't work out for you. But now that your chemistry's right, you've been doing the program for a couple months now you're going to be in a great shape. Or maybe you tried one of these processes that didn't work for you before, but now it will be right for you. And at that stage, I think incorporating some of the technology, you can go to our site, we'll show you some of those things that we've used in order to enhance our brain, and I think you're going to be very impressed. And also, if you have technology that you're interested in or that you've been experiencing, be sure to share that with our team, because we're constantly learning. I want to be clear that I'm not here to say that I'm the expert in all this sort of stuff. What my goal is to guide you to take action and to experiment with some of the amazing things that are out there. We're going to do a lot more interviews on this on this topic, particularly because in today's world, with all the digital technology and everything coming at us with cell phones and computers, internet, we've got to upgrade our brains. We've got to optimize our brains in order to handle the sheer mass of information. And I think the people who do get to this optimal zone, those people are going to accelerate in life. Those people are the leaders and changers in industry. They're also the people who have the highest levels of happiness, the highest level of awareness, and they're also going to be the healthiest people as well. So what's interesting is all of the people that I've experimented and learned from, almost all of them had extraordinary health in conjunction. And I do believe it all starts up here. You made the decision to be here. I want to thank you for that. And I hope you stick around for the next lessons, because we're going to take you a little bit further down the rabbit hole as we go deeper and deeper into optimization. So thanks for sticking around for us. We'll see you in the next lesson.